Look at her, just another tip chaser, the billionaire scoffed in Italian, eyeing the black waitress with a smug grin. Translate this, and I'll hand you my monthly salary. The rooftop buzzed, phones already up, waiting for her to crumble. But she didn't. She fired back in perfect Italian, slicing through his words with precision that left him pale. The crowd erupted, and the moment went viral, racking up millions of views overnight. This isn't just a story. It's a takedown of arrogance, a rise of resilience, and a spark of something deeper. Buckle up for twists, heart, and a battle of wills. Where are you watching this from? Tell us your city in the comments, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to catch more epic tales that hit hard and lift high. Let's make this channel soar together. The bass thumped hard enough to rattle the champagne flutes. Neon purple lights swept across the rooftop, catching every diamond, every spray tan glow. Jasmine moved between tables in a backless white satin mini that looked poured onto her skin, tray balanced like she'd been born holding one. Table 12, VIP cabana, bottle parade already 2 grand deep. Luca Valente Moretti held court in a black silk shirt open one button too far, Sienna Reed draped over him in a red latex dress that screamed money and insecurity. Enzo, Luca's shadow since college, leaned back filming everything on his phone because that's what they did. Record the chaos for later laughs. Luca's voice cut through the music, low and lazy Naples Italian, the kind nobody up here should understand. Guardaquesta probably can't even spell Evian right, just another pretty face fishing for tips from men who actually built something. Sienna giggled, nails digging into his arm. Enzo zoomed in. Jasmine set the fresh bottle down without a clink. She didn't flinch, didn't spill a drop. Then she answered in the exact same Naples dialect, sharper, faster, like a blade sliding out. You just said I can't spell my own name, that I'm only here because rich white men like you think with their wallets. You said I smile while I dream of the change in your pockets. Did I miss anything, or should I keep going? Silence dropped over the cabana like someone had hit mute. Sienna's mouth froze mid-laugh. Enzo's phone shook in his hand. Luca's tan drained 2 shades. Jasmine switched to English, voice smooth as the champagne she'd just poured. Anything else, sir? She turned on her white stilettos and walked away. Hips never breaking rhythm, tray steady. A couple at the next table started slow clapping. Someone whooped. Phones flipped up. Too late. Enzo already had the whole thing. By the time Jasmine reached the service bar, Matteo was grinning behind the counter. Phew. You good? Never better, she said, wiping her hands on a white towel. Her phone buzzed in her apron. Marisol, 3 missed calls. She'd call back later. Across the rooftop, Luca stared at the bottle like it had betrayed him. Sienna hissed something in his ear. He didn't answer. Enzo finally lowered his phone, eyes wide. Dude, Enzo muttered. That's going viral, like nuclear. Luca snatched the phone, watched the clip once, face hardening. Delete it. Too late, already uploaded. By sunrise, the clip had 5 million views. Captions everywhere. Billionaire gets cooked in fluent Italian by Black Queen. When the waitress has more degrees than your personality, Ashu's Italian roast trended #1. Jasmine woke up to her phone exploding. Friends tagging her, strangers sending fire emojis, brands sliding into DMs. She muted everything, threw on fresh whites, and headed back to the club like any other Saturday 11 a.m. prep shift. The rooftop looked different in daylight. Empty, a little sad. Bottles still sweating from last night. Matteo met her at the staff entrance. You're a legend, Carter. Tips tripled already. People asking if you're working tonight. Let them ask, she said, tying her apron. The front doors burst open. Luca stormed in wearing yesterday's shirt, sunglasses hiding bloodshot eyes. The security guy stepped forward. Luca waved a black card that made him back off. He marched straight to Jasmine, pulled a folded receipt from his pocket, $50,000 scrawled on the tip line, and pressed it into her hand in front of the entire opening staff. Dead silence. Jasmine looked at the paper, then at him. Keep it, donate it, burn it. I don't care, Luca said, voice rough. Just don't walk away again without letting me say I was wrong. Cameras on phones were already up. The moment was live before either of them breathed. Jasmine met his eyes, slow and steady. You're about to learn wrong costs a lot more than 50 grand, Mr. Moretti. She let the receipt flutter to the floor between them. The lights dimmed to cleanup mode, casting long shadows across the empty rooftop. Jasmine stacked chairs in her crisp white button-down, sleeves rolled up, apron gone for the night. Mateo wiped down the bar, humming off-key to the last playlist echo. The front doors rattled. Luca pushed through alone this time, suit rumpled like he'd slept in it. He scanned the space, locked on Jasmine, and strode over without a word. She straightened, arms crossed. "You're trespassing. We're closed." "I need 5 minutes," Luca said, voice steady but eyes pleading. "Please." Mateo paused mid-wipe, eyebrow raised. "Everything cool, Yas?" She nodded once. Mateo shrugged and headed to the stockroom, the door clicking shut behind him. Luca pulled the receipt from his pocket, the one with 50,000 on the tip line, and held it out again. "Take it, it's yours." Jasmine snatched it, glanced once, and tore it in half. The pieces floated down like confetti. "That's not an apology, that's a payoff." Luca's jaw tightened. He glanced around the empty floor, then dropped to one knee right there on the sticky tiles. "I was an idiot, arrogant, blind, everything you called out. I assumed things about you that weren't true, and I said them like they were fact. I'm sorry, truly." Jasmine didn't move. "Get up, this isn't a proposal." He stayed down. "Not until you hear me out. That clip, it's everywhere. My board's breathing down my neck, sponsors pulling out. But that's not why I'm here. I watched it 100 times. You didn't just call me out. You made me see myself. I need that. In my world, no one does." She tilted her head. "Your world sounds lonely." "It is," he admitted, standing slowly. "That's why I want to hire you. As a cultural consultant, 20,000 a week for 6 weeks. You join my meetings, advise on nuances I miss, especially with Latin American partners. Help me not tank deals like I almost did last night." Jasmine laughed, short and sharp. "You think I'm for sale now? Not for sale, for partnership. You speak how many languages? 6? And you read people like open books. I need that edge." She stepped closer, voice low. "And if you slip up again? Disrespect someone? Anyone? In public?" Luca met her gaze. "Then I donate 5 million to a scholarship fund for people of color. Your choice, which one?" "Written into the contract." Mateo reappeared from the stockroom, arms full of crates. He set them down with a thud, eyes flicking between them. "You offering her a job, Moretti? Here after that mess?" Luca nodded. "If she'll take it." Mateo turned to Jasmine. "Your call, but if it messes with shifts, we talk." She waited. The money, the power shift, the chance to flip the script on guys like him. "Fine, but my rules, strictly professional. No boundaries crossed. I keep this job. And you listen when I speak, not just nod." "Deal," Luca said, extending his hand. They shook. His grip lingered a second too long. She pulled back first. Mateo whistled low. "All right, show's over. Lock up when you're done, Jas." He vanished again. Luca exhaled. "Thank you. First meeting's tomorrow. I'll send details." As he turned to leave, Jasmine's phone lit up on the bar. A notification. "Sienna Reed lives on Instagram." She tapped it. Sienna's face filled the screen, makeup flawless, green navy top hugging her frame. And let me tell you, that video, total setup. Luca's the kindest guy I know. This girl's just chasing clout. Who even speaks Italian like that? Probably rehearsed. Comments flooded. "Girl, you sound jealous." Ratio. Check the facts. She owned him. Thumbs down piled up. Jasmine smirked. Luca paused at the door, glancing back. "What's that?" "Your ex is defending your honor. Not well." He winced. "Sienna, we're on and off. Mostly off now." "Her problem," Jasmine said, pocketing her phone. Luca left, doors swinging shut. Jasmine finished stacking, mind racing. 20 grand a week? She could fund her research, breathe easier. But Luca, complicated, entitled, maybe changing. Her phone buzzed again, a direct message from Sienna. "You just declared war, server girl. Stay away from him." Jasmine deleted it without replying. Jasmine adjusted her jumpsuit, white ivory, tailored sharp, before stepping onto the yacht's polished deck. The dinner table gleamed under string lights, silverware catching the glow like tiny mirrors. Luca stood at the head, black suit, crisp, shaking hands with a Colombian CEO. Enzo lingered near the bar, phone predictably out. She took her spot beside Luca, tablet ready with notes on cultural cues. The deal, 1.8 billion for a resort chain expansion, hung on tonight. Luca's opening toast was smooth, but his eyes flicked to her for approval. She gave a subtle nod. The CEO, Diego Vargas, smiled warmly. "To partnerships that last." Glasses clinked. Jasmine caught the server's eye, a kid, maybe 20, nervous with his tray. She flashed him a quick smile. He relaxed a fraction. Dinner rolled on, and talks of timelines and profits flowed easily. Then an older guest, some hedge fund relic named Whitaker, leaned toward Jasmine during a lull. His voice carried just enough for the table to hear. "So you're the translator? Must be nice to get a front row seat to the real players. Bet you never saw a table like this growing up." The air tightened. Vargas paused mid-sip. Luca's fork stopped an inch from his plate. Jasmine set her glass down, smile unwavering. "I'm the cultural consultant, actually, and I've seen plenty of tables, some with better manners." A few chuckles broke the tension. Whitaker's face reddened, but he doubled down, tone dripping. "No offense, sweetheart. Just saying you're out of your usual element." Luca's chair scraped back. He stood, voice low but steel. "Whitaker, you're done. That $400 million investment you wanted in, it's off the table permanently." The man blinked, laugh forced. "Come on, Moretti, it's just talk." "No, it's disrespect. To my team, to me, to everyone here." Luca's eyes locked on Whitaker's. "Leave. Now." Security appeared like they'd been waiting. Whitaker grabbed his jacket, muttering, and shuffled off the yacht. The kid server exhaled, tray steady now. Vargas cleared his throat. "Bold move, Luca. I respect it." The table resumed, deal talks picking up like nothing happened. Jasmine tapped notes, pulse still high. Luca had just torched $400 million without blinking. For her. Later, on the yacht's private bow, stars sharp above, Luca leaned against the railing. Jasmine joined him, heels clicking softly. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "Yeah, I did." He turned, face half lit by moonlight. "You told me to listen. I heard him loud and clear, and I chose you over his money. First time I've ever done that." She studied him. "Careful. That's starting to sound personal." "Maybe it is." His voice dropped, raw. "I'm trying, Jasmine. To be someone, you don't have to school every 5 minutes." She stepped closer, jumpsuit catching the breeze. "You're learning fast, but we've got 26 days left before this gets messy." He nodded, almost smiling. "Counting everyone." Their hands brushed on the railing, electricity snapping. Her breath caught. His eyes held hers too long. Then her phone vibrated in her clutch. She pulled back, checking it. A text from Mateo. "Club slammed. You good?" She typed quickly. "All good. Back soon." Luca's phone lit up next. Dante's name on the screen. He answered, face shifting fast. "What? When?" His voice cracked. "How bad is it?" Jasmine froze, watching his shoulders tense. He hung up, eyes distant. "My mother," he said, barely above a whisper. "Car accident. She's in surgery. They don't know if she'll pull through." The night went quiet, stars indifferent above. Jasmine stood in the conference room, white blazer sharp over a silk camisole, tablet glowing with deal notes. Luca paced by the floor-to-ceiling windows, tie loose, phone pressed to his ear. The third meeting of the week, a $900 million resort acquisition in Panama, kicked off in 10 minutes. She tapped her stylus, catching his eye. "Slow down. You're making them nervous." He nodded, hung up, and smoothed his jacket. "Thanks. I'm off today." "Focus," she said, voice steady. "You've got this." The Panama execs filed in, all handshakes and small talk. Jasmine guided Luca through the cultural beats. More family questions, fewer hard sells. The deal landed clean, contracts signed by lunch. The execs left smiling. Luca sank into a chair. "You're a miracle." "I'm a paycheck," she shot back, but her lips twitched. They'd been at this for 2 weeks, 2 deals won, 1 more scheduled. Luca was different now, quicker to listen, slower to assume. But the no-dating rule held, a line neither crossed. Later at the club, Jasmine worked a packed Friday night, gold-trimmed white dress catching every light. Mateo slid her a mocktail during a lull. "Your boy's blowing up," he said, nodding at a TV above the bar. A news ticker scrolled, "Moretti cuts ties with Sienna Reed after viral drama." Below, a clip of Sienna's latest Instagram post, her in a navy sequin gown, tossing old photos of her and Luca into a fire. Caption, "Some people trade love for clout. I'm done." Comments roasted her. "Jealous much? Girl, you lost." Jasmine snorted. "She's trying too hard." Mateo grinned. "Check your phone. You're tagged." She pulled it out. Luca's story, a photo of their signed Panama contract. Jasmine's tablet visible in the corner. Caption, Real ones build, not burn. Hello, Jasmine Carter. Her chest warmed. She typed a quick reply. Nice save, boss, and pocketed the phone. The night blurred. Drinks, tips, music. At closing, Luca waited outside in a black SUV, leaning against the door. Rain streaked the pavement, neon reflecting in puddles. Need a ride? He called. She hesitated, dressed damp from the drizzle. I've got the subway. It's pouring. Come on. She slid into the back seat, keeping space between them. The car pulled away, city lights smearing past. You saw Sienna's post, he said, not looking at her. Hard to miss. She's got a flair for drama. I ended it for good. She didn't take it well. Jasmine raised a brow. You think? He laughed softly. You're making me better, you know. Not just at deals, at seeing people. Her pulse quickened. That's the job. Is it? His voice dropped, eyes finding hers in the dim. Because I'm starting to feel things I shouldn't. 21 days left, and I'm counting everyone. The car stopped at her building. Rain hammered the roof. She reached for the door, but his hand grazed hers. Warm, deliberate. Jasmine, he started. She turned, faces inches apart. His breath hitched. Hers did too. The air crackled, heavy. Then her phone buzzed. Mateo again. You home safe? She pulled back, spell broken. Good night, Luca. She stepped into the rain, gold dress soaking through. He watched her go, jaw tight. Back in her apartment, she kicked off her heels, still buzzing from the almost moment. Her phone lit up again. Not Mateo. A FaceTime from an international number. She answered. Luca's face filled the screen, but it wasn't him. A woman, pale, oxygen mask loose around her neck, smiled weakly from a hospital bed. You must be Jasmine, she said in accented English. I'm Luca's mother. Jasmine's breath caught. The woman's eyes fluttered, then closed. Monitor beeping steadily behind her. Jasmine clutched her phone, standing frozen in her apartment, hoodie white and oversized, swallowing her frame. The FaceTime call had ended, but the image of Luca's mother, pale, fragile, smiling, burned behind her eyes. Her shift started in 3 hours, but sleep wasn't happening. A knock rattled her door. She opened it to Luca, jacket soaked, hair plastered from the rain. His face was raw, eyes red-rimmed. She's out of surgery, he said, voice cracking. But it's bad. I'm flying out now. Private jet. There's a seat for you. Please, Jasmine, come with me. Her mind raced. Shifts, bills, the no crossing lines rule. But his hands shook, and that undid her. Give me 10 minutes, she said. She grabbed a backpack, stuffed it with essentials, and kept the hoodie on. No time for anything else. Outside, a black car idled. Paparazzi flashed from across the street, cameras catching Luca's arm around her as they ducked in. By morning, headlines would scream, Billionaire begs black waitress to fly to dying mom. The jet's cabin was all leather and silence. Luca sat across from her, staring at nothing. She reached for his hand. He gripped it like a lifeline. Talk to me, she said softly. He exhaled. She's all I've got. My dad's gone. Dante's half a world away. If she doesn't make it, he stopped, throat tight. She's fighting, Jasmine said. You said she's out of surgery, that's something. He nodded barely. The flight stretched 14 hours with no sleep. Jasmine brought him water he didn't drink and stayed close when his shoulders shook. When they landed, a car rushed them to the hospital. Sterile halls, beeping monitors, antiseptic sting. Luca froze at his mother's door. Jasmine touched his back, grounding him. Inside, his mother lay still, tubes snaking from her arms, but her eyes opened, catching Jasmine's white hoodie. You came, she whispered, voice thin but warm. You woke my son up. Jasmine's chest tightened. He's pretty awake already. Luca knelt by the bed, taking his mother's hand. I'm here, Mama. She squeezed weakly. Good. Now don't mess this up. A doctor interrupted, pulling Luca aside for updates. Jasmine stayed by the bed, unsure what to do. The older woman's gaze held hers. You're stronger than he deserved, she said. But he's trying. Jasmine managed a smile. I noticed. Luca returned, face lighter. She's stable for now. They stepped into the hall, dawn breaking through high windows. Luca turned to her, voice low. Thank you for this, for everything. She nodded, exhaustion hitting. Their hands brushed, then locked. Neither pulled away. The moment stretched, heavy with what they hadn't said. Then heels clicked sharply down the corridor. Sienna appeared, red dress like a warning flare, clutching a bouquet of white roses. Her eyes, wet with crocodile tears, locked on Luca. I came as soon as I heard, she said, voice trembling just right. How is she? Luca's grip on Jasmine's hand tightened, his face unreadable. Jasmine stood in the hospital corridor, her white blouse borrowed from a nurse's spare stack crisp against her skin. Sienna's red dress burned under the fluorescent lights, roses drooping in her manicured grip. Luca's hand stayed locked with Jasmine's, his thumb brushing her knuckles. Sienna stepped closer, voice pitching high. Luca, I flew 16 hours the second I heard about your mom. I've known her for years. I deserve to be here. Jasmine didn't move, didn't speak. She'd seen this play before. Drama queens weaponizing tears. Luca's face hardened. You're not here for her. You're here for you. Sienna's eyes widened, then narrowed. She dropped the roses to the floor, petals scattering, and sank to her knees, clutching Luca's free hand. 5 years, Luca. 5 years with us. I stood by you through every crisis, every deal. Don't throw that away for... She flicked a glance at Jasmine. Someone who's just a phase. The air went taut. A nurse paused down the hall, chart forgotten. Jasmine stayed still, pulse steady. She wouldn't give Sienna the satisfaction of a reaction. Luca pulled his hand free, stepping back. You never saw people, Sienna. You saw props. Jasmine's not a phase. She's the first person who made me want to be better. You're done here. Sienna's sob choked off. She stood wobbling in her heels and turned to Jasmine. You think you've won? You're nothing in his world. Jasmine met her gaze, voice calm. I don't need his world. I've got my own. Sienna's lips parted, but no words came. She spun and stormed out, heels echoing. The nurse resumed her walk, pretending not to stare. Luca exhaled, turning to Jasmine. I'm sorry, again. Don't be, she said. You handled it. They stepped back into his mother's room. She was awake, propped up, eyes sharp despite the tubes. Dante stood by her side, arms crossed, having just arrived. About time you picked a side, little brother, Dante said, clapping Luca's shoulder. Took you long enough. Luca managed a half smile. Learning curve. His mother beckoned Jasmine closer. You're still here, good. Had to make sure you're okay, Jasmine said, voice soft. The older woman nodded, then looked at Luca. Don't let her go. He didn't answer, but his eyes said enough. Later in the hospital's quiet lounge, Luca sat across from Jasmine, coffee untouched. I'm moving the company's headquarters, he said abruptly. Permanently, to the States. Most of my deals are there now. I can run things remotely, delegate more. I want to be where you are. Jasmine's cup paused halfway to her lips. That's huge. Your whole life's built around that empire. My life's been empty, he said, voice low. Until you. But I need to know, can you do this? Us? Because I'm all in. But your world matters as much as mine. She set the cup down, heart racing. I'm scared, Luca. Your life's private jets and penthouses, mine's late shifts and student loans. What if I get lost in that gap? He leaned forward, eyes fierce. Then we close the gap, together. I don't want you to fit my world. I want us to build a new one. Her throat tightened. She wanted to believe him, wanted to leap, but fear held her back. Before she could answer, her phone buzzed. Matteo, club's a zoo. You coming back soon? She typed, tomorrow, promise. Luca's phone lit up too. Dante, calling him to the doctor's office for an update. They stood, moment broken. As they walked back to the room, Jasmine's mind spun. Luca was rewriting his life for her. But could she meet him halfway? They landed back in the States the next day. Jasmine stepped off the jet, still in her borrowed blouse, backpack slung over one shoulder. Luca followed, carrying nothing but a laptop bag. She turned to head for the subway, but he caught her arm. Wait. He led her to a car waiting outside. The driver popped the trunk, revealing a single suitcase. Luca pulled out a key fob, pressing it into her hand. It's a penthouse, he said. 5 blocks from your place. I'm not asking you to move in. Just know I'm here. For real. She stared at the key, then at him, the weight of it sinking in. Jasmine sat at the edge of a sleek conference table, her white tailored dress catching the morning light through skyscraper windows. Luca stood at the front, pitching to a room of stone-faced investors. The deal, a $2.4 billion resort expansion across the Caribbean, was his biggest yet. Jasmine's tablet glowed with notes, but her eyes stayed on him, tracking every word. He was different now, calmer. Less like the man who'd mocked her months ago and more like someone who'd learned to listen. The investors nodded, impressed, as he outlined profit margins with precision. Then the lead investor, a silver-haired man named Grayson, leaned forward, voice clipped. It's a solid plan, Moretti, but I need clarity. Your personal choices lately. This new relationship, it's raising questions about your focus. My partners don't invest with men distracted by... He paused, eyes flicking to Jasmine. Outside priorities. The room went still. Luca's jaw tightened. Jasmine's pen froze mid-tap. Say what you mean, Grayson, Luca said, voice low. Grayson shrugged, too casual. A woman like that, she's not exactly boardroom material. We're betting billions. We need stability, not headlines. Jasmine's chest burned, but she kept her face neutral. She'd heard worse. Luca, though, he stepped forward, hands braced on the table. You're right. She's not boardroom material, she's better. Jasmine Carter's the reason I'm closing deals cleaner than ever. And if you think her presence is a distraction, then you're not betting on me. You're betting against progress. This meeting's over. Your $2.4 billion's off the table. Gasps rippled. Grayson's mouth opened, then shut. Luca didn't blink. Security ushered the group out, Grayson muttering about reckless decisions. The door clicked shut. Luca turned to Jasmine, exhaling hard. I meant every word. She stood, dress shimmering as she crossed to him. You just burned the biggest deal of your life. For me. For us, he corrected, voice soft. Money doesn't mean anything if I lose you. Her throat tightened. She wanted to argue, to say it was too much, but his eyes held her steady. Sure, no trace of the arrogance she'd met that first night. That evening, Luca led her to his penthouse rooftop, 5 blocks from her apartment. The space was transformed. White roses everywhere, gold candles flickering, city lights sprawling below. Jasmine's white cooter gown, threaded with gold, glowed under the stars. Luca, in a black suit, took her hand. I had a speech planned, he said, voice catching. But after today, it feels simple. I walked into that club to close a deal and met the woman who changed everything. You didn't just teach me how to see people. You taught me how to see myself. I lost $2.4 billion today to prove you're worth more than any contract, and I'd do it again. He dropped to one knee, pulling a velvet box from his pocket. A single diamond caught the candlelight. Simple but radiant. Jasmine Carter, marry me. Her breath hitched. Tears blurred the city skyline. She thought of that first night, his cruelty, her defiance. Then every moment since, his apologies, his growth, the way he'd crossed oceans and burned empires for her. She thought of her own world. Late shifts, research dreams, a life she'd fought for. And now this man, offering not just his heart, but a shared future. Yes, she whispered, laughing through tears. Yes, I'll marry you. He slid the ring onto her finger, stood and kissed her, soft, fierce, a promise sealed. The city hummed below, indifferent to their moment. A year later, they stood in a sunlit hall, Jasmine in a white gown with gold African beadwork, Luca in a white suit, their vows spoken in English and Italian. Matteo grinned from the front row, filming for Marisol, who watched via video, tears streaking her face. The reception blended jazz and Neapolitan ballads. Tables heavy with food from both their worlds. Jasmine earned her doctorate that spring. Her thesis on cultural bridges, now funded by a $50 million scholarship foundation Luca launched in Marisol's name. He ran his empire with a new focus: fair wages, education initiatives, and no tolerance for the Graysons of the world. They sat together one evening in her old apartment, kept as a reminder of where they started. Luca traced the ring on her finger. You didn't just teach me Italian, he said. You taught me love has no price. She leaned into him, their worlds no longer separate but one. Wow, what a journey for Jasmine and Luca. What did you think of their story? Did it spark any emotions or lessons for you? Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear them. Thank you for joining us on this ride. Your support keeps these stories alive. Stay tuned for more heart-tugging tales, and we'll catch you in the next one.